size of that duck? That duck's massive. Oh my God, look at the size of this horse. It's a duck-sized horse.
Hello and welcome to Duck-Sized Horses, the comedy podcast which aims to answer the would you rather questions we hope you've always wanted answered. I'm Nathan Herat.
And I'm Jack Lovett.
Hello, sir. I should have said this is episode 45, by the way.
Episode 45.
45. Can you believe it?
I can, because we just did episode 44.
Exactly. True. Yeah, true. We are still here in Cheltenham, aren't we?
We are. It's a lovely sunny day. A beautiful day to be
indoors.
Indoors recording.
Thank you for having me up here in Cheltenham. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you for coming up.
Well, I didn't ask you in the last episode. How are you? Are you well?
I am.
Good.
I am well. I am, yeah.
You look well. You look well.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm well.
You well as well?
Yeah.
Well. What? Well. There we go.
I think that's the small talk sorted. Are you ready to... Oh, before we dive in, sorry. Admin. Now, normally I would... Or I say normally, previously, in previous series, it would be me that would read out the scores. But for this sort of new series, we've got this new, I was going to say initiative, new idea where a mystery guest...
Let's call it an initiative.
Let's call it an initiative. A new initiative where a mystery guest reads out the scores. So shall we hand over to that mystery guest?
Yes, here we go.
Hello, I'm this week's mystery guest. I'm a special text-to-speech thing that lives inside the computer. Anything that gets typed into a box I can say. For example, pee pee poo poo duck farts. I can also say that it is 26 points to Nathan and only 22 points to Jack.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Strong thank you to our mystery guest. And we'll let you know, or Jack will let you know a little bit later, how you can be a mystery guest.
I shall indeed.
Are you ready, sir, for the question?
Here we go. Episode 45. And again, just very quickly.
Go on.
We always do this. We get into it and we're like, very quickly.
Yeah.
Thank you in advance for the feedback. For those of you who listened to the last episode, we said thanks for the feedback for episode 43.
We did.
That was still unedited.
It's still not actually out yet.
At this stage in time, it's still unedited because if you listen to episode 44, we are still back-to-back recording this one.
We are.
As well. So that may mean lots to you. It may mean a lot of sense. It may make no sense at all. But what I would like to just say is thank you very much for checking those out. And if you haven't, they're in all the usual space, all the usual places.
Absolutely.
Same place you're listening to this one, I bet.
Surely. And we should just say that, as we mentioned in episode 44, Luna is still with us. Much more relaxed.
Much more relaxed. Snoozing, I'd say now.
I think it's only fair we have a small talk section with Luna. How are you, Luna? There you go. Insightful, I'd say.
Very wise.
Yes, wise. Kept it short and sweet. Anyway, shall we get on with it, sir?
No, there's one more thing.
Oh, just quickly. I'm going to get that on a mug.
I feel like I should apologise.
Why?
For the last episode.
Why? What did you do in the last episode?
It
was so long ago.
I alluded to an activity that I've since been told is false and does not exist, and that is... That is the highly coveted sport of eel juggling.
Yes, Jack made a wrong, I think is the only way we can describe it, suggestion that eel juggling is a sport. After an extensive Google search of 5 minutes, I can confirm that you can juggle around an eel in an aquarium, but you cannot juggle with...
See, underwater juggling is a good...
No.
That's a good party trick.
No, you've made your bed. So, Jack, I think everyone here at DSH headquarters accepts your apology for the misrepresentation of eel juggling.
Thank you.
We hope this won't affect people's listening going forward. We all make mistakes.
And if you'd like to get in touch as an eel juggler, you can do so in the following... No.
If you are an eel juggler, sort your life out, I think is what I would say. Right, are you actually now ready for the question?
I am actually now ready for
Ready.
the question.
Here we go. Question 45. Would you rather replace a character in a film and play yourself, or be on your own version of The Truman Show? And I can feel you hating me at this stage, but we'll come to that in a minute.
I would like to replace a character in a film
You're joking.
and just be me.
Really?
Yeah.
All the grief you gave me.
Rather than being in the Truman Show.
Okay.
So the Truman Show's an easy one that can get out of the way.
Is it?
Yeah, I can't be dealing with it.
Yeah.
People just watching you all the time. It's like it's like going on Big Brother.
Yeah.
Just no thanks.
No, it's not for you.
My life isn't that exciting.
Oh.
I'm sure like Truman. I don't even know what his last name. Truman Burbank is his name in the film.
Yeah, good knowledge.
He
I say good knowledge. I've not seen it.
He was just having a regular sort of life, and people just kind of watching.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd like.
So you wouldn't fancy that?
No, I think I'd give that a miss, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I would rather not do that. So
Okay.
I'd rather be in a film.
So I guess the burning question, mate, is what film are you wanting to be in, and who are you replacing?
Now, if I had a choice, I would like to be a sort of a minor side character. Do I have to be like a named character, or can I just be like a background person in the film?
Oh, what a good question that is. I think it's.
I sense you can see where I'm going with
I
this.
can see where you're going, and I'm going to drag this out for a good 20 minutes. I think it's up to your discretion. I'm willing, if you can justify being a sort of background character well enough, I'm on board.
Oh yeah, in that case.
So in that case,
that's an easy win then. I'd be. So there's a scene in a like loads of films where it's like characters like the main characters are walking up and down the like a busy street or whatever.
Yeah.
I could just be like an average pedestrian.
Yeah.
But then would I does that count as a character? Because like
I suppose it depends
if you're an extra mingling around.
Yeah.
Because
it
would
depends.
a character need to be credited or have like a speaking role? Or
Oh, what a question! It depends if the original film that you would sort of jump into would have a pedestrian in the initial scene, if you know what I mean. Like if there was a pedestrian like as an extra in that scene anyway, you could replace that part. But I don't know if you could just turn up in the scene as a pedestrian, if you know what I mean.
right, I see. I don't think that qualifies as
No,
being a character. I think I'd need to sort of
you'd need to replace someone, I guess.
yeah.
wouldn't you?
So would I'd be myself. So I'd have my own name,
Yeah,
own mannerisms.
yeah,
It would just be me reacting
Yeah.
to things. I think I'd go for. Yeah, I like the sensible part of me wants to pick like a character, but an unnamed character. You know when you see credits, it'd be like scientist number 2.
yeah.
I'd like to be
Guy
scientist.
with clipboard. That
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah.
I'd like to be that person.
Yeah. Okay.
There's I think it's in Horrible Bosses,
Right.
the film.
Yeah.
There's a scene where one of the characters is like signing for a delivery,
Yeah.
and he's like flirting with the delivery driver, and she hands over a clipboard, and for all intents and purposes, she's just
Yeah.
delivery driver.
Yeah,
in the credits. That's Meghan Markle.
You're joking.
No. Yeah, she's in Horrible Boss. I may have got that completely wrong and mixed up with another film, but there is a film where she's the delivery driver. and
Wow.
all she does is go, here's your
That's it,
here's your
yeah.
package kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the character makes some kind of like sleazy, like, oh, it's nice to meet you kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could. Yeah, if
You could. Okay.
if I picked like a character, maybe I'd just pick
Yeah.
like.
Would you still have to do their lines, or would you be able to say your own?
You'd be able to say your own, but then would I be able to go and just get on with my? So once my scene's done,
Yeah.
I'm still that character. So if I was replacing Meghan Markle's character, delivery driver, I'd then have to go back, presumably, to the depot.
Yeah, you'd have other deliveries, surely.
Carry on.
It's rare you have a one delivery day.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. No.
I think if I had that as a choice, I think that's what I'd go for.
Okay.
Pick something low key.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think if you were to pick like a main character.
Yeah.
In a film. That could get quite hairy.
Would you look to have an impact on the narrative of the film, change it in any way, or would you just let it run its course as it would if that original character had been there that you replaced?
Again, if you were being a main character, you'd almost have to affect the narrative in some way.
Yeah.
I guess. I'm not quite sure what I'd pick. I quite like the Die Hard films.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's a bit much.
It's quite intense.
Yeah, I don't know which of the 4, or is there 5 films?
There's 5 in there.
I don't know which of them I'd be in.
Was there a 4 and a 4.0?
There's. I think it's just 4.0.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you which one I'd be in, but
No.
I could tell you that they'd be greatly improved.
I think they would.
I'd have to be a good guy in the film as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't be one of the baddies.
No.
Because nobody wants to be a baddie in the film.
No.
Yeah, again, I feel like maybe if it was an action film, I'd have to pick like a side character.
Right.
I think if you're going to be a replacing character in a film, you'd want it to be like something mushy or something quite nice.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
And then, you could just be like a happy-go-lucky sort of...
Yeah, chirpy.
Or like a silly family character. I'd like to maybe replace Robert De Niro in Meet the Fockers or something like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but that's a good choice.
He's a grumpy dad, but he used to have a previous life as a spy, but for all intents and purposes, he's just trying to get on with his day-to-day.
He's given that up.
There's not that much kind of like stress around.
No, it's just not strenuous, is it? It's quite...
Or I could be like part of the family in like the Nutty Professor or something like that. They seem like they have a good time. That could be quite
You'd want
nice.
a jolly role, something nice and
quite nice and wholesome.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the other trick to avoid anything too strenuous or too like you're going to be putting yourself in peril.
Yeah. I think that's strong. That's a strong argument.
So yeah, I'd like to, if I could replace myself,
right,
I'd replace it with there's like a hierarchy. So I'd go bog standard pedestrian, and then minor character, scientist number 2, delivery driver, man eating pizza, that sort of thing. And then if it was a main character, it would have to be like a happy-go-lucky,
nice,
silly character.
Nice.
I think that's
brilliant, mate. You've done really well.
That's the choice. What about yourself?
Well, now you see this. This was tricky, and as I alluded to at the beginning of this recording, I can feel you hating me from here because when you sent me the question, I didn't actually know what the Truman Show is or was.
Which
it is possibly the most cross I've ever seen you on text.
Dear listener, let me preface this. Well, I don't need to.
No, you don't. No. We've known each other how long?
You said, "What great question, but what's a Truman Show?"
Yeah,
and you know when you're chatting to people and they're like, "Oh, I haven't seen this film or that film." I think that's one of those films where you're like, "What?
Yeah.
You haven't seen that?"
It's the only time I've ever seen, the little dots on Messenger when someone's typing. It's the only time I've ever seen steam coming off them before you replied to when I said I hadn't seen it.
See, I think that's up there with like saying you haven't. It's just like it's just a classic film. It's like saying you haven't seen Jurassic Park.
Brace yourself, Jack.
Or have you seen Jurassic Park?
I've not.
Nathan. Or like seeing Back to the Future.
Yes, no, I've seen them. I've seen them.
Seen Back
I've
to
seen
the
Back to the Future. Yeah.
I mean, I almost feel like we could turn this into an episode of just me just reeling off names of films, but down that way lies peril.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so it was tricky because, as I allude to, I didn't know what the Truman Show was. I've done a bit of research, and yeah, it doesn't appeal to me at all.
No,
I don't like the kind of Big Brother type being watched, and no.
I mean, like we won't get into any spoilers, just in case there's any other ludicrous people out there who still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But it's a very good film. Recommend watching it. Yeah, so you wouldn't want to be watched.
No, I don't. I wouldn't like it. And also, I like. I don't think my life is that exciting.
No,
I think people would get bored of it because I'm not the most entertaining person to watch, I would imagine.
I think the weirdest bit of it as well is everybody else in your life would be in on it.
Yeah.
So that's the premise. I know you haven't really seen it.
No.
So
I know from my extensive research over the last 48 hours, I've
everybody else would be a character in that show. So you're just the only person who doesn't know has to go along with it.
So yeah, it didn't appeal.
I'd find it odd, especially if they were doing like the product placement bits. There's scenes in the film where they've got like a new flavor coffee or something, and they're like, oh, blah blah blah, it's this coffee. And they were doing product placement during the middle of the thing. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going.
Yeah, so I'm
not going with that.
No.
So would you be freaked out if everybody knew what your sort of general day to day was as well?
I mean, it would take a little bit of the pressure off because you knew other people knew what was coming and what was happening, I guess.
They'd be planning stuff for you.
Yeah, they'd be kind of. But then I'm not very good with choice and stuff, so maybe there's an element of me that would quite like the responsibility of
taken away.
Yeah, taken away.
So
it's very much like
have
I suppose the equivalent is very much like us recording the podcast. Because bless you do pretty much everything, and I occasionally supply food and the odd quip, but.
So
yeah, there's not a lot of pressure on my side, is there? So maybe
you've just got to wake up and muddle through it.
Exactly, yeah. Which is how I live life anyway, to be fair. But
but you just have cameras.
I think the attention of it, because I'm quite a shy person, and I think I would find that.
You wouldn't know.
But then I don't. Well, yeah, that's true. I wouldn't know people are watching me.
No,
they might be now.
It could be. This could be the Truman Show right now.
But yeah, gosh, there's a thought.
So you'd have absolutely no idea. You'd just be doing your regular day-to-day life.
Yeah, and people would be watching. God, they'd be bored, wouldn't they? They'd be so bored if they had to watch my life.
You need to pick yourself up a little bit more. But so I'm alluding from your question that you've chosen the same.
I've gone the same as you, yeah.
And you're replacing.
I am
yourself in the film.
I am.
Who are you replacing?
Now see. I have two options. One is similar to you in the sense of sort of changing as a main character, maybe. So initially, my thought was I'd have to switch with Batman because obviously, as we know, the desire to be Batman is strong within me.
Do you know Batman's name of a place in Turkey?
I didn't. It's a classic Jack fact, though. It's a new feature.
There we go.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Batman Turkey.
Nice. I'm gonna have to go there.
Yeah.
Do they do eel juggling or is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So initially Batman, but also I had another idea, kind of along your lines of starting off as like I was going to say lowbrow character, you know what I mean, like an extra. But if I'm replacing someone in a film, I'd replace myself as an extra, but then have an impact on the sort of narrative of the story. So I don't know if your opinion, but I'm not a big horror film fan. And it's not the gore that I sort of don't like. It's the kind of illogical way they act. So I don't know if you've seen the film Eden Lake at all.
I haven't.
It's a big... You haven't? That's ludicrous. I'm joking. It's a big thing in media studies as well, like studying Eden Lake. But the premise of it is that there's a couple and they go for the sort of classic romantic holiday in the forest. They come across this group of teenagers.
I have seen this.
Yeah,
Horrible little oiks.
Yeah, yes, yeah. That's the review on the back. Says the Times. Yeah, so they come across these teenagers and stuff. The couple ask the teenagers really politely to turn the music down. They don't. The event, it kicks off a little bit. They then, to get away from the teenagers, come across this fence that has keep out on it. Danger signs, etc. They don't. They die. Spoiler. Sorry, and I kind of thought, if I could replace myself in the film, I could be an extra, but then sort of jump in at the point when they're talking with the kids and be like, hey, look, they're asking you really nicely to turn your music down. Just turn it down. Everyone has a nice day at the beach. When the couple try and go through that fence that says keep out, I'd be like, come on, just keep out. It's, save yourself for the moment.
So you're not replacing.
No, I suppose I'm becoming an additional character, more a mediator of
side character.
It'd be a lot shorter film, Eden Lake, if it was just me essentially being like a TA and going, come on now.
Would you be in other horror films? Because I'm with you. So in loads of horror films, there's loads of, like you said, silly thoughts. But there's also, if it was a horror film about like ghosts and stuff as well. Yeah. That always seems a bit daft.
Yeah.
I'm not one to believe in ghosts at all.
No.
My thoughts there is it always seems to be a spooky old house, and it's never a brand new Travelodge.
No, it's never. No, it's never a new building, is it?
No. Yeah. We've just popped up this this new drive-through Costa, and it's haunted. Yeah. No, but yeah. So you would like to be an additional character.
I think, I suppose I'm replacing myself as an additional character, aren't I, rather than it's a fine line, isn't it? It's a fine line.
There's never normally a lot of characters in horror films.
Well, not for long.
No. So would you be like one of the people who sort of gets there to the bitter end?
Yeah. Crops up at the end and it's like, I told you.
Yeah.
Keep.
Okay, but would you? So in that situation, you'd be trying to change.
I suppose, I'd be trying to change the film, which is maybe a different.
So you'd be turning it from not a horror film into more of like a health and safety.
It becomes it becomes like a first aid.
Look,
video.
This place isn't haunted. Yeah. And look, just don't go through that fence.
Why are you listening to your friend who's saying, come and look at this house at 2 a.m?
Yeah.
With one torch between you.
Yeah, go to
and
bed.
A camcorder for some reason.
Go tomorrow.
Yeah, go in the light.
It's still going to be there.
Yeah.
Still just as haunted
Arguably,
as Costa Coffee.
Yeah. That's true. They don't frequent kind of cafes and stuff, do they?
No. You'd think if there were that many ghosts around, they'd be busying up the queues in Asda of the self-service machines.
They must be parched. Surely they must drink at some stage.
No, not having any of it. But you'd be stopping people.
I'd be trying to change things, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If I felt it was irrational and illogical, I'd be changing it.
So, if you were replacing a character, you said you would replace Batman.
Yeah.
So you'd be yourself.
I would be myself.
Would you still call yourself Batman? But instead of Bruce Wayne, you'd be Batman is Nathan Herat.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. Why not?
Yeah, it works.
Why not? I've got enough Batman gear that people might not notice necessarily.
So you'd have access to all of Bruce Wayne's collections and stuff. So that's quite nice. So you get the millionaire lifestyle to go along with it.
I'd probably be very frugal with it though.
Yeah.
I'd open an investment bond or something. Cash ISA.
Well, didn't he start giving away his money?
He did, yeah. I mean, if you've got that much, I suppose you could give it away, couldn't you? But
yeah. Okay, so you'd be billionaire philanthropist.
Absolutely, yeah.
Bruce Wayne, secret double life as Batman.
Yeah.
Would you not worry about getting into trouble, or would you just be reliant on all the gadgets?
Yeah, I mean, the gadgets would help, wouldn't they, to be fair? I mean, I'd have to do some kind of training to get into the role, bit of method acting.
Yeah. Would you drive the Batmobile to the shops and back?
You'd have to, surely.
Yeah.
What a moment. We talked about it before, didn't we, in a previous episode about doing your driving lessons in the Batmobile.
That would be good.
I think you'd have to drive it to the shops.
You couldn't just have it just sat around doing nothing.
No. you couldn't just have it on the drive. Well, I haven't got a drive, but you couldn't just have it and just sit around washing it all the time. You've got to get out and use it.
Yeah.
Driving to work in it, that'd be quite cool.
So actually, would you be in?
Although
Bruce...
I'm not actually in the film, then am I? I'm just taking
No.
bits of the film into my life. That's a different.
Would you have the Batmobile at your house, or would you have Bruce Wayne's house and the Batcave and everything?
Well, I mean, I'd probably say my house because it's easier to get access to the Batmobile if it's at your house. Because I suppose Bruce Wayne's house is famously fictional, so it'd be difficult to locate.
Oh, okay. So, you replace him, and would you be doing all the battles as well? Like,
I mean, I could give it a go.
Battling with the Joker and
Nothing if not a trier.
Bane.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it just sounds like hard work.
Well, yeah, but I suppose it has to be, doesn't it? If you're going to fight for justice, you've got to. Yeah, I probably would have a go. It wouldn't last long, I don't think.
Would you have any would you be mates with all the other superheroes? Is Batman friends with anybody, or is he a bit of a lone wolf?
I think he's a bit of a lone wolf, isn't he?
Yeah. Isn't there a Batman and Superman, or are they?
They fight each other.
They fight each other, right?
That's another film I've not seen. But
Batman versus
Superman. Yeah.
Okay. So, would you not get a bit bummed out that you couldn't tell anybody you were Batman?
No, because I think people would get the satisfaction of seeing Batman without necessarily knowing who he is. And I quite like that. That is what I look for in a lot of my relationships with people, is that they have a satisfaction without necessarily having to know who I am.
All right. So out of all of the films then,
yeah,
you have to pick one.
One.
So which Batman film of the series are we going for? Which actor are you replacing?
I suppose Christian Bale, because they're the ones I kind of grew up with.
They're the good ones.
They're a little bit cool. Yeah, I haven't seen. Funnily enough, I haven't seen the most recent Batman. I don't know
the one that is out right now.
Right now, I don't know if it's good or bad, or
we should get some kind of percentage.
We should get some
for this big plug that we're giving to
box office percentage for the plug. That it's out now, but I haven't seen it. So
it's 3 hours long. I've heard.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oof.
That seems like a long stint.
That is very long.
Anyway,
but yes. Yeah, I think that's my argument, really. And
you didn't tell me which.
So out of the Christian Bale ones, probably the first one, the
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins, yeah.
Ooh. So you'd be fighting the
Scarecrow, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And the guy who trained him.
Yeah.
Ra's al something.
Yeah.
Bad guy.
Yeah, Ra's al something.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got to fight him, deal with the Scarecrow, and this is jogging my memory, stop a train from falling off the tracks or being blown up, or
falling off into gas, isn't it?
That's it, because they ring fence Gotham City.
They do.
Would you have done anything differently to the plan? Yeah, you can change the
plan, change
the plot of it. Is there anything you would you've seen in the film and you go, why didn't he just do that?
That's a great question, mate. Not really. I think I just stick to the way he does it, because it seemed to work.
It did work, but spoiler alert, it worked. But there's still that element of peril there, where will it work? Won't it work? I
suppose you need that, though. I think you need a bit of peril to keep it exciting.
See, I don't know. Maybe I would have lent on more of the Bruce Wayne's money and influence to try and sort of change things
up a bit.
And if you got that much money and there's sort of a rundown asylum, Arkham Asylum, with pretty lax security,
you could renovate it, I guess.
You could renovate it. You could invest more in the sort of programs they're running there to try and rehabilitate people more, just to make it to make Gotham into less of a crime hotspot.
So you're making the film more like Homes Under the Hammer, but with Batman as the kind of presenter.
Exactly.
So you'd be like knocking walls.
Well, with you as a presenter.
Putting in downstairs toilets, that kind of.
Exactly, and just making the place a bit like a nicer area to live. I think that's generally the Bruce Wayne's plan, isn't it?
I think so.
Sort of improve Gotham.
Renovate the city a bit.
Keeps keeps coming up against problems.
Yeah.
One day you'll get there, Bruce. One day.
We will. Keep believing.
If the billionaires can't solve things, then
What hope have we got?
exactly. All right. So that's you then.
That is me, yeah.
Well, as is customary tradition, we've both picked the same answer.
Are you thinking a coin toss?
It needs to be a coin toss.
As is customary tradition, neither of us have a coin.
No. Bear with. That's 5p.
He's got a coin. Go on, mate, you can call it.
Right. Heads or tails?
I'll go heads.
That's landed in the middle of the sofa into my legs. Right. It's heads.
Oh!
Double points on the away leg of the competition.
It's like the Europa League.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I certainly didn't deserve that. Right, so while I write that on, we'll hand back over to the mystery guest to update the scores.
Hello, it's me again. So much of a mystery I don't even have a name. Did you know I can beatbox? Here, watch me say boots and cats really fast. Boot song, cat song, 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 boot song, cats. Pretty sick, I'll think you will agree. Anyway, after that nail-biting conclusion from our two favorite tossers. Sorry, coin tossers. It is 27 points to Nathan and 22 points to Jack.
Thank you very much to our mystery guest there. So we're going to, at this stage, hand over to our second mystery guest who's going to tell you all about how you can get in touch and where to find us, where to follow us. And once they've done that, I'll tell you why.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Sim, long-time listener to this podcast, and for that, I am getting therapy. You can interact with the podcast from a safe distance by tweeting them at DSH Podcast. On Facebook, search Duck-Sized Horses, or email duck-sizedhorsespodcast@gmail.com.
Wonderful. So those are all the places that you can get in touch. And I said I was going to tell you about why you'd want to.
Yes.
But I'm going to let you do that.
You're
So
gonna
why,
let me do it?
yeah, why should people get in touch with us?
Well, partly because without you, it's a very, very quiet place. No, basically, we love to hear from you, and there's sort of various things we are not after is the wrong phrase, but that people send in to us. So you can send in and keep sending in your pictures of ducks and horses. We love that, and we will always honour them with a prize, which we'll talk about in a minute. Get in touch as well with your questions for the Spreadsheet of Wonder. Jack's got a lovely spreadsheet full of questions that spits out a question about a week before we record. And if we pick your question, you can also get a prize. Should we talk about the prizes now?
Let's talk about the prizes now.
What is the prize, Jack?
You can get a signed rubber duck, which is signed by me.
And me. So there's an incentive. If you're sitting at home thinking, gosh, I need some plastic tat, we're your men. We can sort you out. Also, send in your responses to the question. We'd love to hear what you think.
Yes, you can play along. You can find out how to play along in the show notes for each episode as well. Particularly if you're listening on Spotify, you can click and choose which of your two options you would like. There's also a little box there to send in your own questions. You can even send us in a voice note. We'd love to hear your voice on these episodes as well.
Yes, exactly. And if you want to be like our mystery guests and record yourself reading out our contact details, do that and send it in to us. And we'll also give you a signed rubber duck for that. And if there's anything